Geometry, doing the review for the Unit 7 test on polygons. Make sure you follow this carefully and you know exactly what's going on here because it will be very similar on your test. One thing I wanted to point out that a lot of people miss, let me write on here and see if this messes up. Okay, cool. See this right here? It says something important. See the last page for a cheat sheet on quadrilateral properties. Okay, so let's go there. This will be on your actual test too. All the information you need on all your quadrilaterals are on here, okay? So if you're wondering about this, it's on your test, okay? All you got to do is look at it, read it, okay? It's stuff that we covered in the Easy Bridge book. Now, let's go back to number 1. What is the name of this figure, okay? So, the first unit, 6-1, I did attach some notes on the names of polygons, okay? Let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5-sided figure is a pentagon, okay? So make sure you know your names of figures, okay? As we're going through this test, I put all the formulas you need on the test, on the problem, okay? So there's no guessing on what you need to do. Miss Merrill will be pleased. She might even laugh. All right, so what is the interior angle sum for the figure below in degrees? Guess what? There's the formula right there. Cool. N minus 2 times 180. The only thing you need to know is what is n. Miss Ferraro, what does n stand for? Number of sides, all right? Yes, sorry. Let's count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-sided figure. So I'm going to plug in, instead of n, 6 minus 2 times 180. Now you can type this in your calculator in one step if you want to. If you want to do it step by step, 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180. Okay. If you don't know it, you just go to a calculator and type it in. 4 times 180 equals 720. Cool. So do that. Okay. Why does it do that? 720. Okay. And it should be 720 degrees. All right, down here, number 3, what is the total exterior angle sum for the figure above a hexagon, 1A, sorry. And what is one angle at each vertex, okay? So again, okay, I want you to imagine that it is a regular hexagon. That's one thing that is messed up is the picture is not regular. That's my bad. Okay? But we're going to use the exterior angle sum is right here, and for a regular hexagon, 1 is going to be right here. Okay, so let's just use these formulas. Hexagon, we know n is equal to 6, number of sides, right? Now, what is the exterior angle sum? This says 360 always, which means it's always 360. So it doesn't matter what the shape is. The exterior angle sum is always 360. So the sum we're going to put is 360. Now let's do the math for the one exterior of a regular polygon. So this is 360 divided by n. So I'm going to do 360 divided by, and in this case, it's 6. 360 divided by 6. So let's go back here. 360 divided by 6 gives me 60. Now that's one exterior angle, okay? So my one exterior is 60. My sum was 360. So which answer is the best? Well, A and B have the sum wrong because it's supposed to be always 360. And then letter D has the 1 wrong. It's got to be letter C. Okay? So make sure you use the formulas that I give you that I put right on there. Number 4. Might be the hardest one, but you can do it. What is the area of the regular polygon shown here? Now, the formula is off to the right. The area of a regular polygon. A is the apothem. That's how you're supposed to say it. Apothem. We used to say apothem, but it's supposed to be pronounced apothem, eye roll. All right, and then P, big P, stands for perimeter. So where is the apothem? Okay, so the center to the midpoint of one of the sides, put a little a there. That's your apothem, okay? And I think you know what perimeter means. It's adding up all the sides. So not only is one side 6, but all the sides are because it is regular. All the sides are the same, okay? Let's do this. Little a, apothem is 4.1. Now here's where people mess up. Capital P is not 6, okay? One side is 6, but you need to find the whole perimeter. So 6, and there's 5 sides. So 6 times 5 is 30. So if you use the wrong number for P, you'll get the wrong answer, okay? But let's do this. Capital A area equals little a apothem, 4.1, times big P perimeter, 30, divided by 2. Cool. Now we just got to type it into our calculator. 4.1 times 30 divided by 2. 4.1 times 30 divided by 2 gives me 61.5. So 61.5 is my answer in units squared, and I get letter D, okay? And whatever my units are squared. Cool. Number 5, which of the following figures must have congruent diagonals? Now, whatever you're thinking, what has congruent diagonals, you can take a stroll to that last page and figure out which one has congruent diagonals, okay? Now I see on right here, I got diagonals are congruent. Okay, and then this is a rectangle, right? And then the square says properties of a rectangle, so this applies here too. Okay, so it would be rectangle and a square. Okay, both of those have diagonals that are congruent. Let's go back up here. Rectangle and square is my answer. You're not going to see it for rhombuses. Okay, rhombuses do not have congruent diagonals. All quadrilaterals, nope, because a rhombus is a quadrilateral. And then all parallelograms, nope, only rectangles and squares. Okay. Number 6, true or false? In a kite, all opposite sides are parallel and opposite angles are congruent. So again, check the kite and see if opposite sides are parallel. I don't see anything about parallel here. Okay, it does say 2 pairs of consecutive sides are congruent, like this and this, and then this and this. But notice, it doesn't say opposite sides are congruent. Let's go back to what it says. It says opposite sides are congruent, not consecutive. Consecutive is what makes it a kite. So, false. Okay. All opposite sides are parallel. They're actually not. And the opposite sides are congruent. They're actually not. Only consecutive sides, right? 2 pairs. All right, here we go. Solve for x. Now, in a parallelogram, we should know opposite angles are congruent. So this and this are equal. So let's set them equal. 2x plus 13 equals 45. And now we solve this for x. So let's get rid of this loner, plus 13. The opposite is minus 13. So 2x equals, and then 45 minus 13 is 32. And then my last step to get rid of this 2 is to divide. 32 divided by 2 is 16. Boom. Number 8, what classification is the polygon quadrilateral ABCD? Okay. Now this should have had more labels on it. Okay. So if all this was here, then you would call that a rectangle. Okay. And again, you can check the properties sheet on the last page to answer it. Number 9, what is the most precise name for the figure below? Now, I see I've got parallel sides. One pair of parallel sides is a trapezoid. And then I've got two equal sides, so that's an isosceles trapezoid. Here we go, letter C, boom. Okay, kite is not true because you don't have the consecutive congruent sides. Quadrilateral is right, but it's not the most precise name. Okay, and then parallelogram has to have two pairs of parallel sides. This only has one pair of parallel sides. Okay, isosceles trapezoid. All right, and then number 10. Which figure has diagonals that are always perpendicular to each other? So perpendicular diagonals. So again, we can go down here to our sheet. Okay, and then I'm looking for perpendicular diagonals. Look at that right there. Diagonals are perpendicular. Rhombus. Let's come back up here. Okay. So rhombus does. Now rhombus is not on there, so let's check out these other ones. Parallelogram, kite, trapezoid. Hey, look at that. On a kite, also diagonals are perpendicular. So kite works out. Okay. So sometimes there's more than one answer. You might have to look around on there. Kite. All right, number 11. What is the measure of one interior angle of a regular octagon? One interior angle, so n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. Now, octagon, if you don't know, octa means 8. Think of an octopus has 8 and 8 tentacles or whatever, arms. You can count it up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this was supposed to say decagon. Whoops. We're going to use a decagon here. That's a typo, which is awesome. Okay, so decagon, 10-sided figure. So we're going to plug it into this formula, 10 minus 2 times 180 divided by 10. Right. So 10 minus 2 times 180 divided by 10. We just type it into our calculator. 10 minus 2 times 180 divided by 10. Get 144. Okay, so make sure you catch that typo, decagon, because it has 10 sides. Plug it into that formula, and we got 144. All right, which of the following is a valid name for the quadrilateral below? Like we talked about earlier, everything's labeled nice. This is a square. Again, on your test, you'll have different ones. Be careful with that. All right, two more. 13. The figure is a kite. What is the measure of angle E? What we know about kites is that these opposite angles are congruent. You got to know that. So this right here is 110 degrees. All right. And then up here, you can see this is 90. So the question is, what do these, and then we'll call this X. We have a missing angle, right? What do these four angles add up to? They add up to 360 degrees for a quadrilateral. Okay, you got to know that. So let's make an equation. We're going to add these three angles. So 110 plus 90 plus 110, and then plus X equals 360. Okay, so let's add these three up. So we get 310 plus X equals 360. Then I'm going to get rid of this loner right here. So minus 310 minus 310. Don't crack up. And we get 50. And so our missing angle right there is 50. Okay, so that's how you do it. You got to know that these opposite angles are congruent. At least the diagonals of a quadrilateral are drawn. What is the most specific classification of this quadrilateral? Well, that one is a kite because it has consecutive congruent sides. The diagonals are perpendicular. That is a kite. Make sure you have this completed, submitted, and go formative as you prepare for your test next class. over polygons and quadrilaterals, all right? It is very similar to this review, so please make sure you're ready.